Hello everyone, today I'm going to be going over the best level 90 gear for ice, and as always I'm going to be showing where to get each item. Honestly, this is probably the first time that I've had to debate so much for the best gear for any school, and it's honestly, I didn't even come up with it. There are two different options that you can go with here, and I'm just going to leave it up to you. I've picked what I think I prefer more over the other one, but if you think otherwise, then you should totally go with that. Let me just go ahead and show you the items, starting with the hat. I still have the frostbite hood as the best at level 90, and the reason why, because we can compare, this is my second option here. The reason why this is such a debate is because you really need power pip as an ice, and you also really need damage and accuracy. So on one hand, you have a bunch of power pip and crit, and the one pierce doesn't really matter. But on the other hand, you have accuracy, health, and damage. So I went with the damage and accuracy portion of it. You could go with this, and at the end I'll show you what each separate set looks like, so you can go with your preferred one. This is the only other option for the hat. I don't really see any other option besides maybe using the zigzag one, even though I already compared those two in the level 61 and we found that the zigzag one is significantly worse than the frostbite one, so just go with the waterworks in that case. But this one is up to you. Onto the robe. This one's another one that is contested. I'm going with the Unseen Lord Chill armor over the zigzag one. And the real reason for this is because of the power pip and the crit block. That is realistically the reason why I chose this over the zigzag one. This is another one that you could keep as the zigzag robe and just change the boots, because the boots are a complete upgrade. Looking at these two, for the Hades robe, you're going to be gaining health, pip, and pierce, as well as block, resist, and crit. And what you are going to be losing out on is going to be that 3 damage. I think 3 damage is worth it for all the other stats to go up, except for accuracy. However, if you did have the triangle deck, which we'll show off later because I spoiler alert, did not get that, you will be able to get 100% accuracy. Moving on to the boots, this is the one that I will only recommend the Unseen Lord Chill boots, which is the Hades boots. And we can compare that to the Waterworks one. And it's just an immediate, like, everything is better. Health is better, pip is better, you get a little bit of pierce, you get double the block, same resist. The only downside here is that you are going to lose out on 2 accuracy, but like I said before, you could just socket on a accuracy jewel onto your deck, but you are going to need that on the deck and the Athame for you to be able to get 100% accuracy. There is one other option. Just like always, this is a pay to win option, so I don't really recommend it, but if that's up to you and pay to win is on the table, then the Lydia's level 90 boots are actually insane for ice. You're going to be getting 17 damage, 74 crit, 3 ice accuracy, which is going to be the exact same as the frostbite boots. You're going to get 8% power pip, as well as 470 health. So the only downside of those boots will be that you're losing all of your block. And I have experienced that in Azteca, you do get crit on a lot with the frostbite boots. And I've noticed with the Hades boots, you don't get crit on as often. I'm pretty sure I still haven't been crit on with the Hades boots. But again, that's up to you if you wanted pay to win. Moving on to the wand, this is another one that we're going to have 2 options for. You're either going to use the Sky Iron Hosta or the Long Blade of the Homunculus. Don't know if I said that right, but I gave it my best. The real question here is, do you want more pierce over 2 damage? So 4 pierce or 2 damage. And that's really the only pros and cons of this. I mean, 4 pierce is good if they have a tower shield or a set shield or, you know, ice resist. but 2 extra damage would be better in all other scenarios. So, I mean, you could get both of them and just switch out depending on the fight, but that's realistically the only 2 options here. You could go for a pay to win, let's say the Professor's Horde Staff. That might be a little bit better because it does give crit. However, these are your 2 free to play ones. Moving on to the Athame, we finally get one that's an automatic. This is the best. Blade of the Fell Titan. 15 universal damage, 17 power pip. This is hands down for every single school the best Athame for level 90. You can transfer it from character to character, so if you only have the one, you can just transfer that one over, or you can farm on a higher level account and get this. But like I said, you are going to need to socket a accuracy jewel. Moving on to the Amulet. This one is going to be up to you again. However, this Amulet has the best drop rate out of the 2, and the 2 that I'm referring to is again the Amulet of Divine Influence, which is the God Amulet at level 90, which is, it's basically the old retired Morganth Amulet, but for a universal school. And it's really up to you. I think you get 3 or 4 resist on it, so you basically be trading out your 2 damage for 3 or 4 resist, as well as crit and crit block and pierce. So that's up to you. I've farmed Hades, I think, at least 20 times. People that have showed up to my live streams can attest to that. And let alone the Robe, which took me all of those 20 times to get. And looking at the boots, I have a lot of boots, and I've even deleted some. I have a lot of hats, and I've deleted some of that too. This is also like the regular Hades one. Don't go with this one. It's just not as good. Complete offensive versus like balanced, and then as well as with the robes, they're just not as good. So if you get, you know, the Hades armor, that's not it. You got to go for the Unseen Lord Chill, and same for the boots, but I don't think I have the Hades boots. I think I just immediately deleted those because they only give like ice block or something like that, and you don't want that. But for the Amulet, just stick with the Necklace of Upper Zigzag, or the upgraded version of this that comes with 2 square sockets that you do get from the chest in Lower Zigzag. But I would probably go with this unless you did get Divine somehow in your lucky 2 runs or whatever. Moving on to the ring. This is another one of the hands down best ring for level 90, pretty much across the board. Alpha and Omega ring. 10 damage, 30 block, 14 power pip. You know, you're not really going to get better than this. The only school that might get better than this is Storm, and that's because of damage, but we're Ice. We don't get damage like that. So this is just an immediate upgrade, and you got to go with it. For the deck, I'm going to skip the pet just for a second. We're still going to go with the set of the Ravenous Teeth, but the triangle socket, because you are going to need that accuracy. Let's look at the stats real quick. Of course, I do have my Quint on. We have 103 damage, 34 resist, 13 accuracy. Like I said, this can go up to 20 or 21 depending on which accuracy jewel you get. I think for level 85 you can get 8%, and 75 is 7%. So if you have any of those jewels, you can socket that onto your deck. Hopefully you did get the triangle deck. I farmed a lot back in my day for that triangle deck, and I didn't get it, so it's sad. Moving on to the crit and block rating. This is why I went with the Unseen Lord. We're going to be getting a lot more crit and block at the same time. We also get 3 pierce for ice, and then our power pip is going to be 85, which isn't the best, but it's also not terrible. So let's go ahead and switch to a full Hades gear setup. And you know what, since it comes with pierce, let's also throw the long blade on, and let's look at that. So we're going to get 190 crit, same block, 8 pierce, and then 92% power pip. But the bad thing here is now we have a 10% chance to fizz, and I'm not really sure if I want to take that chance, because 10%'s a lot. You do get a lot of power pip though. 92%, you're almost guaranteed. But we all know, even with 99% power pip, you're still going to fail pip. But yeah, these are going to be your full Hades gear. And then just in case you wanted the Skyrim Hosta version, let's look at that. 99 damage, but you're going to lose your 4 pierce. Now let's go back to the Frostbite and the Zigzag Robe. So this is going to be basically if you just want to upgrade the boots and the Athame and ring. That's the only thing that's really going to be changing in this build. If you wanted to be a little bit more conservative and only go for the boots, you're still going to have a lot of block here. 100 block, I'm pretty sure this is good enough to get you by Azteca without really getting crit on. Your crit is very low, which is not the best to see. But you are going to get 106 damage and 16 accuracy. So you don't really need to socket on an accuracy jewel to your deck here if you do use Sleet Storm, because Sleet Storm does give you 5% accuracy. However, you could use it if you didn't want to use Sleet Storm. I personally always throw that on because it is an extra buff at the same time. But again, these are going to be your stats if you did just upgrade the boots. So those were the stats with a Quint pet. But let's go ahead and check them with a triple double. These are realistically the only two that I recommend at this level. If you're struggling on a solo boss, throw on the triple double. If not, you can get away with a Quint. You do have a lot of health, but I have had a few challenges where I do have to put on the triple double pet instead of the Quint. But for the majority, I do just rock that Quint. So with just replacing the boots, you're going to have 98 damage, 49 resist. All your other stats are going to stay the same. Let's go ahead and put all Hades gear on. You're going to have 91 damage, 51 resist. Everything else is going to stay the same. And then for what I recommend here with the Waterworks hat, we're going to have 95 damage and 51 resist. Everything else is going to be the same, respectively. As for where to get each of these items, I'm going to make this real simple and real fast. For the Unseen Lord hat, robe, and boots, if you did want to go that route, you're going to be farming Hades, the final boss in Tartarus. Drop rates are kind of low, and they can be very frustrating. I know with my life, I did want to get the boots, but I wasn't able to after putting 20 runs in. I got everything else except for the boots. If you're trying to min-max at level 90, farming it is worth it. However, if you're just trying to quest along, level 90 is pretty much just run in twice, get your XP, and get out of there. Keep questing for Darkmoor. That's going to be what you're doing here. For the Athame, we're going to go into Tartarus. Ignore the rest of the dungeon and just break a left here. Go into this little dungeon looking room up here. And this is actually a secret boss, Kronos. And he will drop the Athame. He drops it pretty frequently. I haven't had really the biggest struggle to get a Blade of the Fell Titan drop. So you should only have to do about 2 to 3 runs. That's been my average. So just like the Athame, Mount Olympus also has a secret boss. And this secret boss is where you're going to farm for the Alpha and Omega ring. He drops it pretty much just as frequently as Kronos drops the Blade of the Fell Titan. If you are farming him, watch out for his natural attack because he does put a 75% weakness on you. So pack those cleansed charms if you did farm him alone. And that's going to be it for today. For all other pieces, be sure to watch my level 60 ice gear guide video. If you did want to find out where to get the Frostbite hat, the Zigzag robe, or the Skyrim Hosta for whatever reason, as well as the deck and the amulet. That being said, I want to thank everyone that has been leaving comments for suggestions on other gear guide videos. I am still working on those. I've been farming in order to get all the items to be able to show off, so just be a little bit patient with that. I will have it out as soon as I can. As for today, I want to thank you guys all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.